Well, thank you so much for helping with my project.
Thank you so much.
Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Vasudha Ravula. I'm from India. I came to the US as a student, did my master's, worked here for 10 years, and then moved back about 15 years ago because family's there. I spend a lot of time in studying Vedanta, and any free time that I can get, I help out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And back home, my parents are no more, but I have my in-laws, my husband's parents.
Okay.
So we all live together.
Hmm.
And son's here to study.
That's awesome.
And we have a dog,
a dog.
a lab,
Oh,
and his
wow.
name is Happy.
And that's a joyful name.
Yes. We picked and chose that name.
It's like, you better be happy. I am happy.
It sort of reminds us to be happy.
That's good.
So,
So you had a master's in organic chemistry, and you were
master's in
going
computer science.
and a master's in computer science, and you were going to do a PhD in organic chemistry whenever you switch over to computer science.
And now I switched over to philosophy.
And now you're over to philosophy. So what got you into chemistry to begin with?
Okay, I wanted to be a doctor, right? So get to become a doctor in India, it's not like here, it's not flexible what you can study. After your 10th grade, you get to pick if you want to go on the engineering stream or the medical stream, right? So of course, my grandfather was a doctor. He fought in World War II as a doctor. So I wanted to be that too, right? And you know Sridhar, he's a doctor. You know, we wanted to be that. So if you have to be a doctor, you have to, once you finish your grade 10, you have to pick the right subjects, and which is botany, the study of plants, zoology, and chemistry. There's no math after grade 10. And there are very limited seats in the entire state. I mean, certain seats are reserved for the other castes. We don't come in that. We come under the open category. So, and there were limited seats. So to get a medical seat, I have to be in the top 500.
The top 500. Out of how many?
100,000.
100,000. Okay.
Yes.
So that's like in the top 0.5%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for every mark difference, the ranks would just jump up. So I lost by a mark a seat in medicine, but my rank went up to 1100 just by a mark.
Wow. What was the highest rank that you were during your training?
My rank was 1100.
But
But I had to be in
before
500.
Before that, were you in the 500, or do you know?
It depends, right? You're all coming from all over the state.
I see.
Earlier we were in school, and now it's a common entrance exam that you have to take.
Wow, that must have been really hard
It was
to be. I mean, it wasn't like you were like 2,000 or 20,000. You're literally like so close.
Yes.
Yes.
So then, what's my next alternative? If I have other options. You can either do homeopathy medicine, like how allopathy, the medicine that we follow is called allopathy. So I had alternatives where I could do homeopathy, the medicine that came into India through Germany, or I could do Ayurveda medicine, which is plant-based medicines that are plant-based, or I could go into agriculture BSc, or undergrad in agricultural sciences, or I could do an undergrad in a subject that I want to. So my next best alternative was organic chemistry. So I didn't pick any of these other medicines or the agricultural sciences, but I chose because I wanted to get into organic chemistry next. And for that I needed to do an undergrad with botany, zoology, and chemistry.
Wow.
So your undergrad is in now these three subjects. So I understand botany, I understand plants, I understand animals, and I understand chemistry. And then again, as you go up, as you want to study higher, the number of seats reduce. So most people said, if I had to get into organic chemistry in a very good college, I fall in the open category. Seats are reserved for 50% of the seats are reserved for the other category. They call caste. We have a caste system to encourage them to study. So in organic chemistry, in the topmost college, there are 15 seats. And in that, because I fall in the open category, you have to be in the top 7. I have to.
Okay.
My rank should be between 1 and 7
Wow.
to get in.
Wow.
So people would tell me, "What's the guarantee you'll get into organic chemistry?" I said, "I just know I will."
And you did.
Yes.
And what
My
was
rank
your-
was 2.
2. Wow.
Yes, and the number 1 rank moved on to IIT. IIT is one of the top institutes in India. So because he had an undergrad in math in his 11th and 12th, he could go to IIT. But because I didn't have math, I didn't have the eligibility. Otherwise, I would have. That's what I was telling them yesterday night. If I had math in my 11th and 12th, I would have been in IIT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how, I mean, you don't have the flexibility to pick and choose what you want. You pick a stream, you have to go in that stream.
So, and there's what, 4 IITs?
Now there are many. Earlier there were only top 4.
Okay.
But now in the last 1 decade, the number of institutes have gone up. But with that, the quality goes down too.
Oh, that's it. Because
gets
it's less
diluted,
selective,
yeah.
diluted. Wow.
So, and my father he was a professor in history, ancient Indian, medieval Indian history. So that sort of encouraged us to study more. Yeah. So I got into organic chemistry, 2 years. You have 4 different branches in chemistry: organic, inorganic, physical organic.
Okay.
So organic chemistry is always the first choice. There's medicinal chemistry in it. You know, it talks about drugs and how they're discovered and how long it takes to get a drug into market for human consumption. You get to study all those. And then my next goal was to come to the US.
Okay.
Yes, but for that I need to take my GRE. Nobody else would do that in chemistry. It was just me and one girl. And back then, no internet, nothing. You have to get those big barren books.
Yes.
And go through all these things to pick and choose the right university for you. And then you have to post it. You have to get your trial. Everything was by postal mail.
Right.
This was in 96, 97.
I wonder if there's kids alive today that have no idea on how to write a letter. Like, you know,
No, I
put
don't
the
think
address.
so. I don't think so. Now they do everything's by email and WhatsApp. Yeah, so most of my friends, they went on to do their PhDs in India. But my goal was to do something here. And for that, I had to do something different. So I had a friend and both of us would just go about this whole process. And we came. It was just the both of us who came here. She went to Charlotte and I came to Texas.
Okay.
And
where,
then-
where were you in Texas?
University of Texas, Denton.
Denton. Okay.
But then I shifted to computer science.
Why make the shift?
See, we are from a middle class family. Money was tight. I mean, they could educate us. We lived a decent life. But if you wanted, if I were to do organic chemistry, it would have taken me longer, at least 5-6 years of PhD.
I see.
Right? And computer science is always quick.
Yep.
And the other thing in India, Sridevi was one of the first ones to go to US. As a girl, it was very difficult for parents to send their daughters. They would rather prefer they get married and then go, rather than send them by themselves. So my father first told me, why don't you get married and go? I said, okay, I'll give you a year's time. You go about doing, it's all arranged marriage there. So you go about what you have to do. But if it's not done within a year, I'm going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got my admission by then. So I did give them their time. And it didn't work out.
Oh, the year.
Yeah, the
So
arranged
you
marriage
came-
thing didn't work out.
So you're like, I'm
Yeah,
still
I'm going.
I'm moving.
Yeah, I'm going. So I came here. One thing I've realized, so when I went to that university, they said admission denied. Because if I had to go do my PhD, they would have given me a TA with a $1,200 stipend.
Okay.
But I needed to take an entrance exam. I needed to write a test once
Sure.
I come here. I didn't prepare for any of those because I knew I would get into computer science.
Okay.
But when I came here, I see an admission denied.
Oh, no.
And they said, you don't have a background in computer science, right?
Huh.
So I told them, I took other courses like programming classes and all those. I told them I have all these. But then they then saw my GRE score. My math was very good. Out of a 780, out of 800 score, I had a 780. So they said, based on your math is good, so based on that, we'll give you a conditional admission. I had to do 4 undergrad courses in computer science, and if I can get through them, they would give me an admission in masters. I would have cold sweats. I didn't understand the subject. I took an admission. I didn't understand the language. The accent was different.
Yes.
No, I didn't understand the subject, and every night I would have cold sweats. I thought I would go back to India.
Wow.
I can't make this through. But then I made up my mind. This is not going to wait. I have to get through. And I would go to the library every day until 2 in the night, and I would read until I understood every sentence. I made it all days in those 4 subjects, and then I knew I can do anything. If I put my mind to it, I can do it.
You overcome any challenge.
Yes. Even now I believe in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there were kids, mine is not an engineering background. I have a biological sciences background. But then kids in the engineering, with an engineering background, they would come to me to get doubts clarified.
That's great. So you did some tutoring perhaps? Maybe
I did.
Unpaid.
And even now, when I deal with the home children, I take care of accounts. I don't know accounts, but I learn.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what I tell the children too. If you put your mind to it, you can.
What do you think about our educational system? I mean, like this system of primary schools and colleges and entrance exams and rankings. Do you think it's actually producing the type of society that we want?
No, it's not. I mean, it's all competitive. Why should we compete against each other when I want to study something? I mean, we should have access to study whatever we want, right? If there were 1,000 seats or 5,000 seats when I studied, I would have become a good doctor. Wouldn't I have? Right?
Right.
So, and why am I competing with the other child to study what I want? I think any government should give access to students on whatever they want to study, whatever they want to become. A country should be at that stage. I think so.
It's like arbitrary scarcity.
Yeah. And in that process, what are we doing to each other? Right? You're hating the other child. You're always jealous. Right? Because he's got a better value than me.
And
Is
not
that
necessarily
a good thing? I don't think so.
encourage. I mean, like in the case where you have to be in the top 0.5%, 0.5%.
Yeah.
Where's the motivation to help other people out? You're just improving, making it more difficult for you.
Yeah, you're always.
Oh no, we're just getting started.
So there's always
You leave in half hour.
I know. We are all
His
set.
ISM is still there.
Okay.
Okay. I'll move it on.
We're only encouraging competition against each other instead of focusing on a common thing, right?
We should be trying to make each other stronger and better.
We should,
and figuring out what we can do together instead of
to make this place a better.
And
So. So there are schools like that. Like if you look at Waldorf schools, they don't dictate to children on what they're supposed to do. In that system, I wanted to put my child in that school too. The child just follows the teacher. Whatever the teacher does, the child does that. The teacher never tells them you do this. So you should have more of those. And let the children be more free. Grow free. Let them be naughty according to their age.
But also, like on the family farm, children had to actually help out, and feed the chickens, milk the cows,
we had to
do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they also were very valuable too. Like they filled a role. Now,
no,
kids,
it's not like that.
Yeah, they go into a room and they need to sit and be quiet and put the right marks on papers.
That's what I told my brother. See, because we didn't have enough. I think, in fact, it's a good thing not to have too much. Right? As you said, we had to be part of the household work. Your father did something, you had to take care of some things. Somebody has to water the plants, somebody has to do the dishes. We were all in it together. And to go to college or school, you had to take the bus. We didn't have a car then. right? You have to walk a kilometer, take the bus. Bus doesn't wait there for you, right? You have to wait for it, right? It may come on time, it may not come on time.
That's right.
But you have to plan your time so you're there on time, right? Nobody's going to drop you.
Yeah.
And right, and that it's not that once you get into a bus you have a seat to sit. You have to accommodate to everything, right? In at least the buses in India are packed. You have to stand all the way through college, right? So in this process, we learn patience, we learn to accommodate, we learn to plan. We did so many things without it being a formal teaching.
Yeah.
We didn't
Practical
have to teach you,
experience.
this is how you plan your time. Nobody taught us that. Right? You had to do all those. If you don't go there on time, you miss your bus. If you miss your bus, you miss your exam or your classes.
Right.
So you make sure you're there on time. And for that, you plan your time at home. Get up on time, do your things on time, leave on time, wait in the bus stop. You learnt all these. And I said, our children are not to blame because everything is ready for them. There's a car, vehicle ready for them, taking them to college. They're not, how do they learn patience then?
Right.
How do they learn how to tolerate
Or
them?
planning.
Or planning. We're doing everything for them. So is it their fault or ours or the system's fault?
Well,
It's everything.
it's interesting. So when you think about where society is going in the future society, what does it look like to you?
I think it's getting more complicated. At least if I look back on my dads and my forefathers, they lived a simple life. They were content, they were happy. What I look at it now is we're more ambitious, less content, forever seeking something or the other. We're never ever happy with what we have, right? And that's a question we had the other day. People back then were simple. They were happy too. We have all the latest gadgets. We fly. We have all these things. We can track each other. But are we as happy as them?
Right. I think I'd be happier not being tracked.
If our child doesn't come on time, you're already calling them, seeing where they are. Back then, when we didn't have phones, this child still came home.
Right, they had to.
Yeah, they still came home. Did the mom worry? She knew that.
You started developing a confidence.
Yeah.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
He'll make it work.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, we
Society's
didn't
good.
have that anxiety.
Now you get one missed call and you're like, oh my gosh, what's up?
He didn't come here. What happened? Let's see. Call up.
Yeah.
So communication. The other thing that's now become communication has become free. Back then, to make a call, it costed 10 cents a minute. So you had to think on what to talk. What was really important.
10 cents. Yeah. Even just between cities, you had to pay.
Yeah. So you just spoke what was necessary.
And you couldn't have call centers located in halfway around the world spamming you. It'd be too expensive.
Yeah. And now what's happening? Everything's free. You talk for hours together and miscommunication. Is it necessary?
We talk a lot but say nothing.
Say nothing. Talk about others, judge others. We do all that on phone. So is it a good thing? Yeah, if you can use it for the right purposes, why not? Like for example, yesterday, you could show children from the other side of the world what America, how homes are, how they celebrate Christmas.
Right.
Because communication is free. If I were to pay $1 a minute, I wouldn't have showed it to them.
Right.
WhatsApp call is free. WhatsApp video is free.
It's
across the world. So let's see if it can be used for the right purpose, why not? But are we using it for the right purpose? We need to introspect.
Yeah, indeed. So we're going back to the moon, and I was wondering if you thought that was a good thing or a bad thing. How does it?
I'm okay. If man can go to the moon, it's a good thing.
Or woman?
Yeah, man in the sense, man,
I know.
woman, or human.
Human.
Being. If they can go there, it's a good thing. It's how far we've extended our intellect to achieve impossible things, things that we thought impossible. Yeah, but why are we going there? To find more resources, water, minerals.
To explore.
But we already have resources here. What are we doing with them? Polluting them, grabbing them, not making it accessible to everyone. We have resources. There's a quotation which says, "The earth has enough for everyone's wants, needs, but not for everyone's greed."
Everyone's
enough.
greed.
Yeah. It has enough for everybody's need, but if you're greedy, it doesn't have enough. So what are we doing to the resources here? okay, assume we go to the moon, man can go to the moon, we can do all that. Are we going to keep it clean and neat? Are we going to take it to the same state that we've taken Earth to?
Which do you think is better, a forest or a neighborhood?
Forest or a neighborhood? A forest.
Do you live in a forest or a neighborhood?
I wish I could live in a forest.
Do you? Why?
I mean, neighborhood is good too. We have a neighborhood now. How many of those people do we know?
We don't.
We don't even know who the neighbor.
But if you lived in a forest, would you know them?
It depends on who we are, I guess. What kind of people we are, I guess. I guess I would. Why am I preferring a forest versus a neighborhood? Because I consider it to be more calm, more peaceful, more clean, more in association with other animals, plants, birds, which we don't get as much in a neighborhood, maybe. So recently I was telling them in India there's something, homes are now, there's a new trend which built up called biophilic homes. So this person told me that, our DNA is naturally inbuilt to be in sync with nature. But now what are we doing? We're living in concrete jungles, which is not our natural state. So now they're building homes where, as you go home, you feel as if you're going through a forest among plants. And when you enter your home, it's as if you're in nature. They're trying to build homes. So why are we doing it? Right? Because we are in sync with, that's our natural tendency. But we are not living in a natural environment.
Yeah. But there's a lot of unnatural things we do. Reading and writing. Building, cooking.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
So, well, if you could, would you take a trip to space?
Yes, I would. Space, moon, anything?
Would you?
I would, just for the excitement.
So, if your son becomes a settler on Mars, which
a settler?
A settler.
A settler on Mars, yeah.
Then you would join him. You'd be like.
I would visit him.
You would visit him.
Just like I'm visiting him now.
That's awesome.
No, it's wonderful if we can do that.
Yeah.
If we can have enough resources for everyone, why not? Right? If these resources are not enough, because of whatever reasons, and if you can find them elsewhere, and everybody can, and it can meet everybody's needs, why not? Of course.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. And do you think at some point we make it to other star systems?
I don't know. As far as, each star is what? How far away?
I think the closest one is 1 or 2 light years away.
Light years away. So is it possible? I don't know. I don't understand physics enough. But to travel that far, how fast do we have to go?
And how long? You gotta.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're traveling half the speed of light, it'd take you 2 years to make.
Half the speed of light, and we cannot travel at the speed of light anyway
because
we won't have matter anymore.
0.001
right?
speed. We're so slow compared to that.
If we're traveling at speed of light, there's no matter, right?
Well,
is that true? Am I right?
As you approach the speed of light, your mass increases.
Mass increases?
Increases, and so it takes more and more energy to accelerate you more.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So is it possible? I don't know. I wonder if there's a way where we can just dissolve and
reappear, like Star Trek.
Is
where
that
they
possible? Can matter be put back together? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's only it.
Or maybe we send out robots that are intelligent, and then the entire universe becomes populated by robotic creatures.
Where are we then?
We're back here.
Back here on Earth.
In old age home Earth. Yeah. But it was a pleasure to get to talk to you this morning.
Thank you so much. I don't know if I made sense.
No, it was fantastic. I wish we could have talked a lot more. But you'll have to come visit. And that'd be great.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Well, bye-bye.